Hi, my name is Thomas, and I am an Army officer in the Texas Army National Guard. And recently, I was deployed to Houston to help with Hurricane Harvey. For the first week that we were there, we primarily were engaged in search and rescue efforts. And then the second half of our deployment, we were doing humanitarian type of missions, such as handing out food, water, medical supplies, checking up on people, just making sure that the local populace were doing okay. I took a quarter, I guess, of a platoon and went down to Houston and then grouped with 3 other similarly sized groups. I can't remember what the total number was just for our group, but I do know that for all 4 of the groups combined, we either rescued or assisted over 10,000 people. You know, it's one thing to see that amount of water on TV, that amount of rain, especially when it's 30, 40, 50 inches. But to actually see it in person for the first time, it's something entirely different. I remember the first day that we were in Houston, which I believe was Cypress, Texas. So it's more west Houston. It had started raining really heavily that day. And that was the first day where we were going in and around neighborhoods, and it was raining and the water just wouldn't stop. It was devastating because you saw these people's homes and they were completely flooded. There were houses, all the interior was destroyed, it was gone. People's cars were either in the middle of the street completely flooded, or they weren't able to get out of their house. And so even when we were picking up these people and they were, happy that we were there to help them out, you could just see the look on their faces, and you just knew by what you saw visually that their whole lives were, destroyed. I have seen poverty before because I travel a lot, so I've been outside the United States, so it's not new to me. That was the first hurricane that I've ever been directly involved with. I think the first thing that hit me obviously was the amount of damage, like I said. And then I'd say that the other thing that hit me really quickly was how fortunate I was not to be experiencing the same thing that those people were experiencing. One of those scenes where you take not just life for granted, but your circumstances and your situation. It's just one of those scenes where when you're in something like that, you realize that you never know what's going to happen. One day you could be totally fine, and then the next day your whole life can be destroyed. I realized the amount of good humanitarian work that was done by just normal people, helping out their neighbors, people looking out for people, stuff like that. And whether you want to call that, God working through people, or people just being good humans, looking after each other, whatever you want to call it, that surprised me the most, was the amount of people that came together and helped total strangers because, your fellow man was in need.